We're just talking. Well, I am, and you're just listening. Your responses are dependent upon the various words, how they're strung together, how it tempers to your own emotions, your mentality, your principles, the things that where in which you actually govern yourself by, and what it is that I do that does or doesn't bother you. That you do or don't accept, that you will or won't judge, matters not. See, figured out two things. One of them is already a given. But reiteration from life is never a bad thing. First, it is okay to have your own mind and your own thoughts on things. When you read within the scripture, people who follow the same rules perceive those same rules, though there's certain things that are universal, certain finer things within the rules are left to your discernment as a person. What your intellect is, what your wisdom is, your understanding, things of that nature. It's not easy to dictate this. It's not simple. But I tell you this right here though. I have had many days, this and number two coming, where I've had to step back and look at everything and say, all right, this is what they just said. This is what just happened. And between what they said and what happened are missed events that they couldn't calculate or didn't calculate, you understand? And between what happened and what they said also were things that you perceive that maybe they just don't perceive. They can't see it. See, one can say, I believe that the word says that it's okay to be with other women of other races. And then they'll dictate something like Deuteronomy 20, if I'm not mistaken. And there's an instance where if you're a man who's gone out to war, specifically a man who's gone out to war, nothing else, and on return home from the campaign, if you see a woman who's a prisoner who you believe is beautiful, you can wed her. There's a process to this. You have to take her slave apparel and give her wife's apparel. So that meaning that there's a specific clothes that a wife would wear as opposed to a slave to distinguish the two. Because she could be a beautiful woman, but so they need to know, like, is this his woman or is this just whoever? Somebody who's just washing clothes and tending to the sheep, you see? And so with that said, one has to also keep in mind that you give her the apparel, you shave her hair, you clip her nails, and you allow her 30 days to mourn the bereavement of her parents and her family, because she's probably never going to see them again if they're already not dead. So with that said, after 30 days, the anticipation of wanting to be with this woman will probably be strong within this man. He goes to be with her. If he and then the ordinance follows if he doesn't want to be with her after. So if he chooses that he's not happy with this woman, he cannot sell her because he has humbled her. You know what I'm saying? He's laid with her as he would lay with his wife. So he can't sell her. He just has to give her up. And she's free to go. And he can't treat her with contempt or he can't act funny towards her, none of that. It's just things like that that people don't expound, don't speak on. But I could tell you that the places that they were going out to, um, um, doesn't mean that when you were cutting their hair, I mean, it doesn't say what kind of hair they had. It doesn't. It's not dictating anything like that. And we look at pictures of so-called Egyptian people. Some of them have hair that looks like it lays down. You know, some people try to claim that they permed it or whatever, whatever. But I look at it and I'm like, I'm sure that that hair just lays down. You know, there's people who come from the land of East Africa and other parts of it who are black skinned that have hair that lays down now. So I mean, how impossible is it to perceive that? And then with that said, um, it's highly unfortunate that we are at a junction, a crossroad, if you will, where in which if I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, then there's no longer a need to converse. And I cannot help but to express this in the most polite way. First, you need not ever to agree with me. If you comprehend and understand the point that I am trying to make, that is more than enough. Because at least you understand where I'm coming from. If you really understand it. It's another thing to agree with someone and then to not even comprehend. It's so the fallacy and the I don't even say the contradictory action and the reverse action, the opposite action, you know. But in this in this form of stance, it wouldn't oppose because there's no understanding for the person that agrees. You know, they don't understand. They're just agreeing to agree, and this could be a positive or a negative thing, which is why I say that either one is, you know, where a person may understand and know that you are valid in what you're saying. They simply don't agree because they believe something else in their heart. It takes time for people to uproot the trees that they have from the nasty, rotten, corroded soil that it's in and put it into good soil. And it's a complicated process to uproot the tree like this. So there's always this bashing that I listen to from I don't know how many black men do this and how many white men do it and all the other colored men that do it, you know. But they have this thing where, you know, if you go to their comment section and you disagree with them openly, there's a this big thing. And it's just like, you know, only a woman, once again, I'm trying to be polite, but only a woman would do that. Because I'm a grown man. If you seek to oppose me. Eventually, I'm going to tell you to go gather your information and then upload a video or send it all to me in the files and let's do this. I'm that guy. You see, I stand up for what I believe in and I don't just say things. There are facts that contradict every fact out there. It just depends on who collected the data. Something for you to think about while you're thinking about data. And then we're going to go to number two. Have you ever noticed that a lot of the data that deals with women in particular, there's always a lower number of women, like the percentage of women to men. What you need to understand people, is that women outnumber men. So the data off tops isn't giving you the numbers. That's why they're giving you the percentages. But that's neither here nor there. Number two, the second thing that came to me. I have to take responsibility all the way for it is who that I am. Even if I don't want to be this person. You understand what I'm saying? I have a do as I say, not as I do policy and mentality. If I'm comfortable with my own self-destruction, but I don't want to see you self-destruct, I can give you all the tools to not self-destruct. For I know that it is too late for me to not want to self-destruct, for I have already initiated this process. So the self-destruction is already on its way, so to speak. Not for me, but we're just speaking in a metaphorical term. With that said, I have to bow to you. I just have to bow to you that these things that I have to accept, and just don't want to. I don't want to be that responsible. You understand? I don't. Does that make sense? It's easier for me to just upload a video, do some research. You know, I love research, so it's not hard for me to do that. It's not hard for me to want to learn. I hate being responsible. I hate it. Because I'm not responsible for the things I feel I should be responsible for. So to be responsible for something else and a whole nother tandem that I feel is far greater than what it is I should be responsible for. If you can see the somberness in my face and just understand how I feel right now, I'm so serious. It is like, it's not a punishment, but you most definitely have to do this right. Right now, I look out my window. It is October. It is supposed to be dark outside, y'all, at 9:48 a.m. It's about to be November next month. The weather is unusually warm. The sun is unusually out. Everything is awkward. I'm not scared. I'm just conscious of what could happen, what will happen, and what won't. Lost a lot of my steam, so to speak, some years ago. And I just remember sitting in my bed, my dad's bed. I was living with my dad or whatever, and being beat down in my spirit, pretty much just wanting to die. And I've told this story to you guys before, and I remember this guy just telling me, you haven't read the Bible enough, you know. And I said, all right. But he didn't know I had picked it up recently, and I started reading it again, and for some odd reason, I was just so down in my spirits, and I finally turn, get to the pages, and I'm reading, and then I'm like, it's a psalm. It's like, how long, oh Lord, shall you let, pretty much like the wicked persecute me, I have it written down, but it's pretty much as asking how long you gonna let them keep me in the full Nelson while the other two or three work me over, real righteous like. So, and then it's just, you have to wonder, well, am I ever gonna get better, And then I never really did get better. I just listened to this guy one day, as crazy as he sounded, validity in a statement is not to be overlooked. No matter how silly you think someone is, if they say something that is worth credence or that is worth at least acknowledging, you should acknowledge it. You see, and that's where we go back to, if I understand but don't agree. So here we are now, way before I even started a journey with sharing how I felt with people. I was doing what I do with people all the time. I don't need to tell you what I do for other people, but I do for other people when I can, while I can, when I can. All the time. I don't have a color or a race or a preference of people I would prefer to help. I just know that people need help. When you've lived somewhere where there's no running water, no electricity, and the conditions are pretty ran down, but it's better than living outside, you learn to appreciate a lot of things. When you've gone from having something literally to nothing overnight, you appreciate things. When you've had people who were supposed to be your brethren betray you for a woman that you really cared about, hold on, that is the mother of your child. You see? And they're supposed to be your brother, older brother too, right? So it's just, there's so many things that I don't express you know, and for these guys to constantly harpoon the situation of the young lady this and the young lady that. Well, what about the young man and his constant state of nothingness and his feeling of worthlessness? What about that? When are we going to address that? When are you going to say, you know what? I'm not going to give this stuff to these ladies who made poor decisions. I'm not going to do that for them. I'm going to give it to the young man. When are you going to do that? Huh? When are you guys going to start that foundation? Since you guys want to build, I don't want to build. I don't want to start a foundation for that. I just tell them what I can, when I can, while I can, and do for them what I can, when I can, while I can. That's it. That's it. It's up to them to make that decision. I tell people all the time it's a biological effort to fail or to succeed. Whatever it is that you believe that is in your mind. It's a biological effort. A great man, a sinner, a wicked man, a man that I'm very hard on, but I do understand his plight. He said one time that the children of adulterers shall never come into their full potential. And here I am, the child of, I mean, if you wanted to be biblical, two adulterers in that sense. And then my mother, a child of an adulterer, my father, the child of adulterers. So these people constantly not coming into their full potential, you know. I can say that in my mind, even if I were to base what I knew about my son's mother and what I know about how marriage really works, I'm no better. I'm no less the adulterer than they. Only thing is between the difference between the men in my family's my father and his father is that I didn't go get with the woman who had children already. I splash on my father all the time for this. Splash on him. You guys have no idea. You have no idea. I'm not looking for a woman with kids, but at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm not gonna settle or accept something, but I'm like, I do understand the situation. I really do get the situation. You can't fix it by trying to ignore it. So you have to pick a side. You're either for your people or you're against them. And at some point, it's not about settling. It's about making a conscious effort to make a difference. And this little amoeba, the tiniest little amoeba, connected to a larger amoeba, connected to an even larger one. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if there's more than just you making that collective effort at the tiniest level, at the smallest scope, while you control your desires and your urges, yes, and that means suffering and all these things. And that means correcting the unjust and the unrighteous things that we do when we do them. We can't allow for each other to be not held in accountability. However, with that said, let me back up off and get off my high horse, because I'm on one right now. You know, I had someone challenge my masculinity as of late, and I thought that was amazing. I really thought it was amazing. You know, but it was no different, that person saying that to me, than the white people, than the black people who shave their faces and shave the sides of their heads and look ridiculous and all that stuff, and all the other black people who are just sellouts, right? And all the other black people who just ain't even my people, black people. And all the other peoples of the world who want to be niggas until it's time to be a nigga, right? Because I'm just a hot dog guy. I, 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 I always forget I'm just that. So, but every time it's like that. It's like, well, hey, you know, I didn't come to you per se for the services. You know, this is a part of the equation, an interaction, so to speak. It's like when people say, well, I just want a hot dog. And I tell them with a straight face, I just want to go to heaven, knowing that a man like me and a normal man's soul probably won't ever make it to heaven. But salvation, I'll settle for it. Excuse me. However, I can't say I don't care, but I just tired of people, tired of the obnoxious behavior of 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 unchecked um, aggression, where in which people do things that don't ever get corrected because there's no one there to correct them. You know, when you're physically present, it's much different when you're not. Anyhow, I had an older gentleman tell me this weekend, I don't know who's behind him. And in that moment, he almost lost his life because I felt threatened for a second. Like, bro, I'll kill you right now. See, I don't. Once again, I don't act like that. I'm really like that though. I'm a, I'm a legitimate, real crack baby with chemical imbalances like no other. My cool is extremely cool, and my heat is extreme also. And I don't pick and choose and discern this, that, and the other. You're either for or you are against, and you had better pick a side for me. I said that's all. I could care less who your affiliates are. When it comes time, you're either for me or you're against me. That's it. That's all. Some people don't feel like that. That's me. I ain't never been a sucker. You know what I'm saying? And if I really think about it, when I really think about it, all the people who are afraid to leave the houses right now because of little old me, I ain't never been played. Never. I've had people try to play me just to realize they played themselves. Now you can't even walk around the city in fear of a dude that you know that doesn't drive very much is walking around. Might have caught the bus and he's just out and about. So you just go and handle your business and that's it. Because the last thing you want to do is to catch me somewhere. I'm telling y'all. I've changed so much. You just have no idea how much I've changed. I've calmed down so much. Just have no idea how much I've calmed down. I'm not the toughest guy or whatever or any of that, but I am willing, overtly willing to do whatever it takes to go home, come back home, leave, and return again. One time I raise my voice is when I feel like I've had to refrain from using violence as a means. I get excited like this, don't get wrong, but that's not raising my voice. Once again, how I talk like this is my normal tone. I don't mind being excited. That's part of me too. But I don't need to be like that all the time because this is me right here. This will be the person that is at your ass. This will be the person that has your back. This guy. Trust me. And this is, I'm telling you right now, I don't cross anybody. I don't threaten people. I don't do anything like that. If I tell you I'm about to do something, you're probably this close to it happening. Because I probably already had to stop myself 10, 15 times already. You see what I'm saying? I'm just giving y'all insight on Demetrius, things I would never, I've never shared with you. And I know I've never shared with you. I'm telling you, when I say I have somebody's back, I got their back. But if I'm at their ass, I'm at their ass. And it's going to take divine intervention, bro. I have yet to meet the person. I have yet to meet him. I have yet to meet him. I have yet to meet them. I'm shaking in my boots over. Seen a guy last night, the other night, excuse me, 2 nights ago. Probably about 6'5", and I guess he was 260, 270. He said he was 280, whatever. He had baggy ass clothes on, so you really couldn't tell. Even that guy could tell. Once I was like, yeah, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, how do you think I know? He seemed intimidated with his big ass, big scary motherfucker. Excuse my language. People like that. Bop, sock their, oh my, you guys have no idea like the kind of stuff how big and strong some guys have been that I've just hurt. All that doesn't matter. It doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It means nothing. If you love me, I love you. If you hate me, I hate you. If you curse me, I curse you. And if you bless me, I bless you.